Maurice Jones-Drew, Mike Garafolo, and Kyle Brent live down under in Sydney, Australia. That was a horrible accent, but you were in Sydney, Australia nonetheless. Now, y'all, throughout the month of June and all year long, the NFL celebrates pride and the incredible contributions of the LGBTQ plus community around the world. Today, here at Good Morning Football and across the NFL League family, we are wearing our rainbow pride shirts to honor LGBTQ plus inclusion and the pursuit to build a world where everyone can be their true selves every single day. Now, Kyle, I'm sorry, but overnight shipping to Australia is a little bit tricky. So though you do not have your t-shirt, I see the rainbow behind you, and you are still a very proud ally and happy to support. So good morning, guys. How are you? It's Monday. Another day, another
Jimmy, it's
dollar.
awesome that you're here.
First time working together.
Yeah.
It's early.
We're here. MJD, you good? You look a little sleepy, my guy. You awake?
I'm here. You know, I'm figuring this thing out as we go, but we'll get it going.
We'll get it going. All right. I think we're in good hands with the four of us. Y'all, it is time for the lead block. I want to get into today's topic. Okay, there we go. I hear you. Now, our own NFL Network analyst, Mark Ross, who won 2 Super Bowls nonetheless in his 11 years in the Giants front office, has compiled a list of the most complete rosters heading into the 2021 season. And he's got a surprise at number 1, a little bit of controversy here. Ross has the Cleveland Browns atop that list, ahead of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who we knew won the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, the 2 teams that met back in Miami in February. And to round out the top 5, 2 more AFC teams, the Chargers and the Bills. If you want to go read more, go to NFL.com/Ross. Now, this list, there's a lot to talk about here, and we're going to get into the defending Super Bowl champs in a minute. But Mark Ross is obviously all in on Cleveland in 2021, despite what we've seen from Kansas City, my Kansas City Chiefs, proud Kansas City in here, the past few seasons. So I have a question, you guys. There's some controversy on this. Are the Browns even the biggest challengers to the Chiefs in the AFC?
I'm going to take this. I'm going to take it. I'm going to ride with Mark Ross on this one because, you know, a lot of times you do these lists and whoever you put at number 1, you say, I'm going to have a surprise there because I need to get people talking about something. That's not Mark. Mark's really evaluating this thing from top to bottom, and it starts with Baker Mayfield. And this is a guy who threw 1 pick from week 8 through the wild card round. I think he is going to make the jump that Kevin Stefanski and the Browns think that he is going to make this upcoming season. He's getting Odell Beckham back. We know what they have in the backfield with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Then you go to the defense. You know, we know what Myles Garrett brings, but then you can add Jadeveon Clowney, Takk McKinley, Malik Jackson, maybe an underrated addition for the Browns on that side of the ball. John Johnson, we know what he's going to bring on the back end. They wanted to have a versatile secondary on the back end to be able to have guys do different things back then. They feel like they accomplished that in the offseason. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. A team that had, you know, this playoff drought that lasted decades, and now all of a sudden they're back in, and now we're talking about them as the biggest challenger to the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, I'm in it. And I believe what Mark Ross is buying, is selling. I am buying it because this is a complete roster in a lot of ways. Tell me where the holes are. There aren't many on this roster for the Cleveland Browns. Good job by them building this roster throughout the offseason. I think they're ready. I'm with it, Mark Ross.
Yeah, Mike, what do you have to let's go back to the beginning first. Let's talk about Sashi Brown and the whole Moneyball situation where you were able to compile all these picks, right? And then John Dorsey comes in, he used those picks to start building this roster. And I think you have to go back there before you can kind of start saying, oh, yeah, they're ready to go. They had to go through some turmoil, though, that was at 1-31 or whatever the record was. But they used those picks that they were compiling throughout those seasons, and they hit on a ton of guys. And you talked about it. This team went to the playoffs and took the Chiefs down to the wire without Odell Beckham Jr. And then you add what they did, obviously, in free agency with Jadeveon Clowney, and then the draft. They just kept getting better and better and better. And they're running the system that it seems like half of the NFL is running, where it puts your quarterback in great situations to be successful. When you continue to add pieces around Baker Mayfield, you continue to run the ball like we're seeing here with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, all these different things. I think the Cleveland Browns for sure. I don't know if I would say the most talented team, but they're definitely the team that is the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs. To my Chiefs,
fun
too.
to cheer for the Browns. It's fun to hype the Browns. We waited 25 years to do it. And I got to tell Mark Ross, this is a great list because these days your list is only as good as how many people you make angry and how many teams you insult. It's not how many people like your list. It's how many people hate it. In making this list, he's insulted the Chiefs, the Titans, the Ravens, the Steelers. Like the list goes, it's a great list. It's a very good list. And if we're talking about the fallibility of the Chiefs, because their fan base will be the most offended by this, let's bring up the teams that have made it to 4 straight title games ever. You know, they made it to 3. Here are the teams that have made it to 4. The meat of the Brady Patriots, tons. Of course, we know that. The Raiders, 70s. The McNabb Eagles, way back in the Aikman Cowboys, the Jim Kelly Bills, and then way back in the 70s, the Cowboys. That is the entire list. The Chiefs are looking to join that list. That is rare air. That's a nice group. And yet it shows exactly how hard it is going to be for the Chiefs, especially when the answer here, my friends, is obviously Buffalo. Buffalo is the team that I think has become the most complete. I think their biggest fault last year, their biggest problem, they couldn't get to Mahomes in the title game. Their pass rush was not great. So what do? Spend your first 2 draft picks in the draft on pass rushers. And sure, if you want to go through and say, well, their nickel is this and their left guard this, fine. Would I like them better than Cleveland? I like Josh Allen better than Baker Mayfield. I still think that if you were to make a list of the quarterbacks you were starting a franchise with right now in the entire league, I think Josh Allen is probably second after Mahomes. I think that's it. Talking about young quarterbacks, that I think he is that good that he might make up for a few of the deficiencies. And I still think Buffalo is for real. But Mark Ross, you are for real. Pray for your mentions because you people are going to be out for blood on this thing, and that means it's a good list.
Myself included, because I am a proud Kansas Cityan. Y'all put respect on the Kansas City Chiefs names.
Okay.
Cleveland, whatever. The Bills, they're good. Okay, I can see them threatening. But Mark Ross, my man, let's actually tee back up his full list of the most complete rosters heading into the 2021 season. Drama here. Browns number 1, the Bucks number 2, Chiefs 3, whatever. I don't like that. Chargers 4, Bills number 5. Now, guys, the defending champion Bucks. They're not the most complete team, despite returning all 22 starters this season. They're still in the number 2 spot. Kyle, come on. I know you said there's controversy on this list, but these rankings, my guy, no.
Yeah, and not only that game, they brought back all 22 starters. They also brought back their kicker, punter, holder, and long snapper. I'm not making that up. It's actually all 26 starters. And yet, you know what jumps out to me from this list? My God, do people love Justin Herbert. They love that kid. I have never seen this kind of hype. The Chargers are in the top 5. Don't get me wrong, guys. He looked good as a rookie. I mean, he looked really impressive. But people love Justin Herbert. He better throw for 70 touchdowns this year or people get disappointed. So the Chargers jump out to me. That's pretty high up for a team that hasn't made the playoffs in a while.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the Bucks like, if you look at everything that they've done, they just won the Super Bowl, they brought everyone back, and they still have Tom Brady at quarterback who's upset. He's still upset for whatever reason it is. I can never go, listen, I'll never go against Tom. I didn't write this list. I've done this before in past years. You never go against Tom Brady. You never say anything negative about any team that he's on because he's going to use it and they're going to go probably win another one. So the Bucks will probably win another one now because of Mark Ross. Thank you.
And listen, you can. The thing about training camp is you can show up anywhere, look at a team and say, oh, wow, they've got the pieces to compete because you're looking at the starters. This is really, if Mark did this the right way, it's about complete rosters. How deep is your team? Because that is going to be the key to success year in and year out in the NFL because you're going to have injuries and you're going to need guys to step up. And that's why I'm talking about, I like what Cleveland's doing. I think that there's depth there. I didn't even get to their rookies and what Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is going to bring to this team. So, yeah, I not only am I seeing what's happening on the top line with Cleveland, I'm seeing what it's built. Are they number 1? Are they truly